Hey guys, welcome to Haley's Inner Room, and we're back with another freaking video. So as you guys can tell by the title, baby, we're gonna be talking about my shroom experience. I'm really excited to tell this story because my trip was so fun. I'm gonna tell you guys when I did it. I did shrooms on Monday, and I did it with my boy best friend. Basically, we was talking about it, and I always wanted to try shrooms for like the longest, but I was always scared and I didn't know where to like get it and shit like that. So he copped some shrooms, and we had like 3 grams, like probably 2.5 grams, because the last piece was really small. But I tried to film the shroom experience, but honestly I was panicking in the beginning, so my thoughts wasn't to film it, you know. So I'm gonna start from the beginning of what happened when I took my shrooms, how my trip was. So keep in mind, throughout this video, I am not promoting you guys to try shrooms. If you want to try it, that's you. I feel like you guys should do your research. Before trying shrooms, because it is something that uses more parts of your brain than we usually use, and a lot of people can have a bad trip for the most of the time they're doing shrooms. So I am not promoting shrooms. If you want to do it, then do it. And if you have done it before, comment in the comment section down below your experience so we could chat it up. But let me just start with my story. Basically, when I got to his house, before I got to his house, I ate a bacon, egg, and cheese, because a lot of the reviews that I've seen, they said that you should do shrooms not on an empty stomach. And I'm gonna tell you why in a few that you shouldn't do it on an empty stomach. Because I ate around like 9 o'clock, like 9-10 o'clock, and I got to his house around 12:50. So a bacon, egg, and cheese wasn't holding my stomach for the whole time. So then when I got there, he had made his food or whatever to eat, and I was like hydrating myself with water and shit like that. So he showed me the shrooms, right? And I did not think that the pieces were gonna be as big as they were. Like, I feel like the shroom was like this big, not the whole thing, but at least this big, but it was longer. So it had a long piece, and like the tip part was the circle part. So it was like a big ass piece, you feel me? So I started panicking when I saw the size of the shroom, because I'm like, oh shit, that looked like a lot. I'm asking my boy best friend, I'm like, you sure that this is 1 gram or whatever the case may be? And he like, yeah. So I'm like, alright, or whatever the case may be. But I honestly did not eat the whole shroom. Like, I left the tip on it. Like, that sound mad crazy, but I left the tip part on it, but I ate most of the shroom. Like, it just was like a little piece left over, because I was panicking. I didn't want to overdo myself, because even when I drink and when I smoke, it really takes a toll on my body, and I really be more smacked and more drunk than everybody else because I'm so small and petite. So that was that part. So we took the shroom or whatever. He was like, it's not gonna kick in until like 30 minutes or whatever. It's not gonna kick in fast. But for me at least, I feel like that shit took like 15 to 20 minutes to kick in, and my body started shivering like I was a crackhead. Like, I was shaking so much like I was in Antarctica or something. So I'm looking at myself and I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like, why am I shaking so much? And then I start panicking, because now I'm like, I didn't know that was the side effects of it. Like, you start shaking like that or whatever. And then my stomach, oh my gosh, y'all, my stomach felt like, my stomach was literally feeling so bad. Like, I felt so nauseous. I felt like I was about to throw up. Like, my stomach started hurting so freaking bad. So then after that, it starts kicking in. Like, my boy best friend was like, he bussin'. I guess that's the terminology that you use when the shrooms start hitting or whatever. So he like, I'm bussin'. And I'm looking at him like, I've been bussin', because I'm over here shaking like a crackhead, and like my stomach is hurting bad. And I kept telling him, I'm like, my stomach is hurting so bad. He like, calm down, Hope, calm down, Hope. And me, my anxiety is really freaking bad. So I was really panicking. And Then after a while we started bumping. Oh, let me tell y'all about the scenery first, because that's what makes this story just so much better. So basically, my boy best friend, his room is like literally like vibes. So he has the LED lights that I have in my room, the regular ones that go around the room, and then he has this LED thing that looks like galaxies on the ceiling, like it's neon colors. And then he had this other one in the corner to this side, or whatever the case may be. So it's just looking mad nice. The LED lights is busting, and we listening to Lil Uzi. Honestly, me and my boy best friend really don't listen to the same type of music, so I was just like letting it rock, because I'm like, you know, you feel me, whatever. And we bumping, and then after a while it really started to feel like, oh, I didn't feel much until I stood up. That's when it really started kicking in, because when I was sitting down I was feeling it, because I was staring at the LED lights and shit. And then the music started feeling different. Like the music started feeling mad loud in my ear, like as if somebody's screaming in my ear the words. So then after that, me and my boy best friend stand up, because now we both busting at this point. So he's like, yo, it really feel like we not even standing up. But mind you, this is not my boy best friend first time doing it. This was only my first time, or whatever the case may be. So the room looked like it's moving. Like the room literally felt like I didn't feel like my usual body, how I would feel now. I could feel the weight on my body. I didn't feel no weight on my body. I really felt like I was outside of my body, if that makes sense, because I didn't feel heavy. I felt very light. I felt very, I don't even know what more to say to describe it, but I felt very I don't know, it's just like an out-of-body experience. You really just don't feel your body. You literally just feel energies, the energies around you. Well, that's my opinion. I feel like I was feeling the energies around me, and the music was a vibe, and the LED lights was a vibe. But this is when we started going crazy. So we both looking at each other or whatever, and we just enjoying the trip at this point, because that shit was so fire, like the way we felt. And then we looking around the room, and it looked like his room is moving. Like it looked like we both moving too. And then I was bumping, and mind you, like I said from the beginning, I never bump Lil Uzi Vert like that. Like I know his old songs but not his new songs, but my boy best friend loves the fuck out of some Lil Uzi Vert. So mind y'all, I'm sitting here bumping Lil Uzi Vert like I knew the lyrics before. I kid you not. Some part in my subconscious brain knew all the lyrics, because I was literally sitting there like singing all the words. Mind you, I never heard these songs a day in my life, so I was like, what the fuck, like how I know all these songs. So we just bumping and we vibing, like we with the music, and we like well, my boy best friend really knew all the lyrics, so he was saying it out loud, but I was mouthing the words as if I knew them. So we just both vibing, bumping. And then at a point, I felt like we were talking to each other in the sense of our future selves, because during the trip we had a conversation, and he was like, it's 5 years later, and then we just talking about everything that we want to be doing 5 years later from now. And that shit was so crazy. And my boy best friend, the whole time, I swear this nigga was looking like a giant. Like he was looking mad tall. Like I don't know, he started looking different. Like it was different. Like when we was talking to each other in the future tense, like that's how it felt on the shrooms. It felt like we was our future selves, and we was having a conversation with each other on that aspect. But then let me tell y'all about the part of my trip that was bad. And it also, like, one thing I can also say is that it really does take a toll on how you think. This is why I'm not recommending people to just, you know, pick up shrooms and just try it. Really want to do your research, because some of the songs that he was playing, like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't intentionally, but like there was this one song, and I still remember it, and he was like, it kept on saying, I don't want to die young, da da da, or whatever the case may be. But the person was going in depth to like what he was going through, and at a point I was really listening to the lyrics, and then my mind started going into this bad place or whatever. So oh yeah, if you're on shrooms, you don't want to be in a bad headspace or whatever. But me personally, I wasn't in the best headspace, but it wasn't taking a huge toll on me during my shrooms trip. So that was the only thing. Like, I was in a bad space, but I wasn't trying to think about too much while I was, you know, on the shrooms. But that song was really having my head just go crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean? And like, what do you mean I don't want to die young? And then I feel like it was another song that was like, I don't want to be here no more. I don't know. That's what I was hearing, but I don't think that the songs was actually saying that. But fast forward to the part, because honestly during the whole trip we was honestly just vibing out, and everything around me looked so vibrant. Like, even the remember in the beginning I was telling you guys that he had an LED light that shows the galaxies. So when you stand in front of it, it looks like a laser, and every time like the color was coming out of it, it felt like the color was pouring into me, if that makes sense. I probably sound crazy, like, what do you mean colors is pouring into you? But that's what it felt like. So the whole time we was tripping, we was really just vibing out, looking at the LED lights. I was panicking at some points, and towards the ending of my trip I had a bad trip. So that's why I do say just really be careful, because if I wasn't trying to get myself out of that mood that I was in, it would have really took over. So I went to go use his bathroom, because I had drunk. I kept on hydrating myself during the trip, and also we was smoking like a lot of spliffs on top of being on the shrooms or whatever the case may be. So I was hydrating myself a lot. So at this point I had to pee, but I kind of was holding it in at first, because I didn't know if like his parents came home and then we tripping, and I didn't want to go out there and I look crazy. So I was holding it in, but comes to find out his parents was never there or whatever the case may be. But I went to the bathroom, and in his bathroom he has marble walls. So when I was in the bathroom, for some reason it felt like the walls was caving in on me. So in the bathroom my heart started racing mad freaking fast. Like, I'm telling you, mad fast, like really fast, like I was about to pass out. So I'm trying to open the door, but I forgot I had locked it when I went in the bathroom. So I'm trying to open the door to get out. Like, it felt like I was running from somebody or whatever the case may be. And then after that, yeah, I felt like I was running from somebody. And when I came out the bathroom, I was just out of breath. I was like and then I went in the room, and by this point my boy best friend was playing on a game with his friends. Like, he was on playing some type of game with his friends on his PlayStation, Xbox, or whatever the case may be. And at that point in my trip I was kind of feeling lonely, because I wasn't really doing anything. I was kind of still sitting in my trip, but he was playing games with his friends or whatever the case may be. So at that point I was feeling lonely. I was just in my head for the most part. And after that, the trip started coming down off of me. Like, it started wearing off, and then it was kind of like over. But the only thing I could say about shrooms is when it's over, it's over. Like, you don't feel nothing. So when you tripping, you have to literally enjoy it from then. My trip lasted 4 to 5 hours, maybe 5 hours, yeah, 5 to 6 hours, because I was at his house since 12, and my trip finished at like 6 o'clock. And one thing I also could say on shrooms is that it feels like time is moving very slow, because at points he has this clock on his dresser that says the digital time or whatever, and I kept looking at the time and I'm like, yo, it's like it's been this hour for so long. And another thing was, I was very sensitive to technology. Like, picking up my phone felt very, very heavy. Like, and I started to get irritated. Like, every time I picked up my phone I was getting very irritated. I couldn't, you know, picture out a text message. I couldn't read anything on my phone. And I had looked in that's why. So I had missed the part, so we're gonna go back to the part where I was in the bathroom. So along with his walls being marble, I had also looked at myself in the mirror, and in the mirror I look like an alien. Like I feel like the way I was picturing myself was like really mammal, like I don't know how to describe it, but I really looked like an alien. My face was looking like really, like, I don't know, I just looked so ugly, like so ugly, and I'm looking at myself like, what the fuck, why do I look like an alien? But beforehand, I really do believe in aliens. That is something that I strongly do believe in. But seeing myself actually look like an alien in that mirror really tripped me, freaked me the fuck out. I'm not even gonna lie, because it wasn't a pretty image. Like, it really wasn't. So then after that, yeah, so when you're on shrooms, do not look in the mirror at yourself. Do not try to record yourself on the phone, because I did speak to other people about like their shroom experiences, and they said the same thing, like looking in the mirror while you're on shrooms is something that you really should not do. And that's what I did, because I didn't know beforehand that you wasn't supposed to look at yourself in the mirror. And I kept trying to record myself, and I was looking like weird as fuck. So along with that, I was really sensitive to technology. I was getting very irritable every time I picked up my phone. So I feel like during your trip, you shouldn't be on your phone or try to use your phone. My boy best friend deadass he was using his phone during the trip, but me, I couldn't see anything on my phone. Everything was looking weird. And before we started tripping, we tried to watch this show on Hulu called Superstore, and everything was just looking like so weird. Like I couldn't even pay attention to the characters, because it looked like they was disintegrating in the episode. Like I don't know what the fuck, but that shit was crazy ass shit. So, and also while I was on my trip, I had I kept on moving around my crystal bracelets, because I did want to trip for a spiritual purpose. But during my trip, I was kind of panicking, and I was kind of in a moment that I didn't think about anything spiritual. I didn't really, you know, have a spiritual experience on my shroom trip. So when I do trip again, I want to set the intention of, you know, gaining a spiritual experience. It's all about what you set your intention with. Anything you do, whether it's smoking weed, drinking, anything, you set your intention, you should be fine for the rest of the day. But next time I take shrooms, I just don't want to be panicking as much as I was. I would not look at my phone. I would not look in the mirror. And I damn sure would not go in the bathroom during my shroom trip when I do it again. But I do want to gain a spiritual experience, because when I was moving around my crystal bracelets, so my onyx, when I moved it, it felt like I was dragging something that was being held down by an anchor. So it felt, my onyx bracelet felt very heavy during my trip. I wish that I had my crystal pieces instead of my bracelet, so I could really feel the energy. Because when you're on your shroom trip, you literally just feel energies, the energies around you. You just feel yourself as an energy. You don't feel in your physical body. You don't feel the weight of your body. I don't know if it depends on how much you take, or if you take less than a gram, you'll have a different experience. But I took 1 gram of the shroom. I had ate 1 gram of the shroom, and that was my experience. But my crystal bracelets, I can definitely feel the energy on them when I was touching them on my trip. So I know that when I do it again and I set the intention for a spiritual experience, then it will be so much better. I do want to do shrooms again, but I don't think it's something that I want to do consistently. Of course not, because shrooms is a very serious thing. You have to really do your research, because had I not shifted my mindset, and had I not knew that I had control over the shroom experience, I would have stayed in that mindset of being anxious, having anxiety, and I would have had a bad trip for the whole experience. So next time I do it, I just know what to expect. I was just probably anxious and had anxiety because I didn't know what to expect. I knew that you hallucinate, but I thought that would be the scary part. But the hallucinating was actually the fun part of the shroom experience. So that was the best part. Like seeing things look like they're moving, seeing colors so vibrant. Like the world just looks like a better place on shrooms because of the hallucinations. So I would definitely do it again. And one thing else I can say is, the whole time I was on shrooms, I had my arms crossed like this. the whole time. Like, I don't know, like I felt safe doing that. And when I was speaking to somebody and I told them that, they said that I was trying to ground myself during the shroom experience. So that's why I was like that. Because even my boy best friend had asked me why I was doing this, why I'm holding myself like this. And to him, I just made a joke. But I really didn't know why I was doing that. Like, I just felt like I had to the whole time. But yeah, so I'm trying to think if I'm missing any parts during the shroom experience. Yeah, so I think that's it for my shroom experience. And if you guys do have experiences, if you tried shrooms before, please comment in the comment section your stories so I can see if I relate, or when I do shrooms again I can see if I experienced that. But definitely comment below and make this a community on your shroom experience, because I would love to hear you guys' experiences on shrooms or whatsoever, or your trip, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I'm missing out any parts. And I did want to do this week because I know that going weeks on and weeks on, I'm gonna start forgetting parts of the stories and the experience. So I'm glad that I got to do that this week. And if you like this video, make sure you subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Interact with my posts, give my YouTube channel a little scroll, you know, see what you like on my channel. And I'm gonna be uploading every day for the rest of the month of July, so stay tuned for my videos because it's gonna be uploads every day. Comment some story time suggestions, comment anything you want, any and everything you want. Just interact with me because this is a safe space, and I just want you guys to enjoy my content and know that we can build that connection. So if you did like this video, interact with me. But bye guys.